recently came across an article that was pointing out the most underrated players on each team in the NFL. Got me thinking about the Detroit Lions and how we have a ton of underrated players, guys that we know is watching. It's like, man, this guy's good. This guy's good. And so I have three for you. I'd love to know in the comments who you think is a player that just does not get recognized by the national media or whoever like they should. So here is the first guy, Frank Ragnow. 100% agree with this one. Our center that has really elevated our offensive line and then in turn our offense and in Jared Goff. And so he makes everything go. Now, in 2021, he signed a 4-year, $54 million deal, which is just a great deal for us. I think he's 27 years old. And the guy that wrote this or explained over the past 2 seasons, Jared Goff has not only transformed the public's perception of his ceiling in the NFL, but he has also become one of the best certified blitz beaters in the league. The past 2 seasons, only quarterbacks have experienced points added ratings against the blitz. That's up 14th from 2021. A season Ragnow missed most of the toe injury, orchestrating all that traffic, even with a talent offensive line rests up front. So what they're saying here is Ragnow's able to give him protection, right? So like we get protection and Goff with protection, and we've just kind of said this over and over. Goff with protection and the right offense is really good. And I mean, we think that that's just a given with quarterbacks. No, there's quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, give him all the time in the world and give him a clean pocket, can't make the throws still. So Goff can. Here's what Hank Fraley had to say. I joke with him about it. And by the way, remember, he's got this turf toe injury that's inoperable. It's a little concerning. Cannot fix it. It's just he has a mangled toe that is just not going to be able to ever fully be surgically repaired. So hopefully, but he's expected to play and perform at a high level in 2023. Hank Fraley says it's been a great room. I joke with him about not taking all the reps out there, but he could be tougher on that end. And he says jokingly, he's all good. I admire him just like the guys in the room do. If you've ever heard Penei Sewell, if you ever heard any of the guys talk about Frank, they love him. They like he's the toughest guy I've ever. They know what he's going through. They know what he's going through, this injury. So he's underrated because he's the center of a great offensive line. That's a great offensive line, part of a great offense, part of what Jared Goff's doing. So that's number one. Number two, if you look at our depth chart, the second guy that's just underrated is Amon St. Brown. 100%. He gets he gets credit and he's a good story and people like to talk about how he can remember all the people that went before him and all that. And that's really cool. But he is so efficient. Now, I didn't even pull up any numbers. I didn't even want to, I don't know, we can go through all the numbers and stuff, but that doesn't paint the picture. We know as Lions fans, it's 3rd and 5. Amon-Ra is in motion. Like, you just feel good. How many times in the past were you just like, I have no idea what we're going to do. I don't feel good about any of this. Amon-Ra can get open. He can run jet sweeps. He can go deep. He can go big crossers. He can go little short little hitches. He can get wiggle, and then you don't know if he's going inside, outside, and Goff. The chemistry's there. The chemistry is going to be there even more this year, so expect even a bigger season from Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's so underrated. He's like, I'm help me out here, Kool-Aid check me, but I would take him over. I mean, I don't want to say I would almost take him over any other wide receiver in the league because he's so efficient, gets open, he's steady, he's durable. Again, check me on that. Would I take Jefferson? Of course. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he is a top 3. How about that? Top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. No question. I would take him. No question. Top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. So Frank Ragnow, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the other one that is so underrated, another one that gets credit. I'm gonna give you 4. I'm gonna give you this last one and then give you a little bonus one as well. But the one that is so underrated, John Kaminsky. Okay, we'll just touch on him, and then I got one more for you. John Kaminsky, for us, this is a guy that just was almost out of the league, and then he comes to our team and he plays physical and he does exactly what he's asked to do, and he's got a big thing on his hand the whole season. He is so underrated. He's a tweener guy, right? He's not like a pure pass rusher and he's not a defensive tackle, but he found his niche. He plays super hard and he's just a great teammate. and guys really respond to John Kaminsky. So we're lucky to have him. He's so underrated. The other one that's just, I mean, I think this year will be the year that he gets the credit is Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell, I mean, they've talked about how Goff has said that the game plan, he is part of the game plan. Think about that for a second. Usually it's all right, how do we get Amon Ra open? How do we match up Gibbs with somebody or something? No, it's Penei Sewell is part of the game plan, meaning the way he's pulling, the way we saw against the Vikings, he actually caught a pass. But what is Penei Sewell going to do? That he's part of, you saw it before where we'll do like a fake pass to the left, throw it over to the right, and Penei Sewell's out in front of St. Brown. And we want that. We want stuff where Penei Sewell is really active. So it's tough for an offensive lineman to get credit. They don't touch the ball usually, except for Penei once there, but you don't typically touch the ball. So it's hard for them to get the credit that they deserve. So Penei Sewell is a guy that's still underrated. Everyone likes him. Everyone appreciates him. But I think this year, in his third year, he's going to really shine. And then, man, you start looking around at some of these guys that we're going to have to pay at some point, right? Amon Ra, no question. We're going to pay him and keep him around. Jonah Jackson's due up. Jared Goff's going to be due up. For Penei is in his third year already. Aiden, of course, we're going to keep around. So this is where really having a good GM is we're going to see that second iteration of Brad Holmes, meaning we know that he can draft. He's proven that. And that's why we brought him here. Hey, draft well. So he drafts well. Okay, now second hurdle can you do is, let's say you draft well, what you really want. Well, then all those guys are then due up for that big contract here in 4 years. Now, how do you manage that? And so it's a good problem to have. I can't wait to see how he does it because he's so good. And one of his strategies as a GM is he's always kicking the can down the road because he knows two things are going to happen. One, just kick the can until you can see what's going to happen. Meaning extend guys out, give them money on the back end, give him void years. So he'll give you a 2-year, $2 million contract, right? But then he gives you an extra year in your contract that you just get an extra $1 million down. And so to the player, it's like, cool, I like that. I'll play for less now. I'll get more later. He's just constantly like pushing things out because he knows the cap number's always going to go up. And you'll get more information by the time you get there and have to make another decision. So I'm curious to see how he works that and what he'll do with the cap number as it gets closer to some of these guys that need to get paid, St. Brown, Hutchinson, all these guys, because we're drafting so well. So I can't wait to see it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to our channel, we talk all Lions and Pistons. Lions and Pistons. That's it. Right now, we're excited about the Pistons moving forward. Make sure you check out those videos. We just had a really good draft, and things are looking up there. But as always, talk about the Lions. We're super hungry. Right on something here with the Lions. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll see all of you on the next one.